The Breeze, Prince Pretty, and this is Wrestling's Behind the Curtain.
Yo, it's your boy Kenzo the Great. We back, it's Wrestling Behind the Curtains. Back to why you should be watching. Welcome back. If you're not new here, if you are, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. You don't know the drill because you're new, but if you are, you do know the drill. We're gonna try to get you in and out. This is a quick why you should be watching. I know you've seen it trending this week. It's NXT. We're gonna talk about this week is gonna be heavily involved on why I'm talking, but I'm also gonna be like just in general because of how good NXT has been lately. We've done this before. You go back and check my last NXT video. Some of that stuff might still be accurate. Actually, maybe I should go back and watch it myself. I'm not sure. But even if it isn't, we here and we updating it. So, again, like, share, subscribe, sit back, quick video. Now, I'm going to give you 4 main reasons why you should be watching NXT. Number 1 is the presentation. The host, the commentators, the arena, all that, the everything. So, first of all, the host. The host is Ava Raine, and if you don't know who that is, that's actually The Rock's daughter. I believe part of the reason why she got this role is because she's been in the NXT universe a while. She had a lot of injury setbacks, but she's her father's daughter in the sense that she's great on the mic. At least I believe so. Her promos are good. It's a way to stop the wrestling trope of starting wrestling shows with a promo because you already got Ava in the ring a lot of times starting NXT off, and I do like that personally. Maybe you don't, but check it out and you'll find out. Booker T is actually a commentator on NXT. He hasn't always been. Is actually, I want to say, fairly recent, maybe 6 months. I don't remember. But Booker T on it's a familiar voice if you're not new to wrestling. If you know, or if you're a casual. If you're not, again, he's just a knowledgeable guy on the mic who's not doing too much. I do want to say one of the things that people had a problem with NXT, which I didn't, was that the previous commentators were always too much, so to speak. But again, it's wrestling. I mean, if you don't like that, I guess it's your prerogative, but I don't mind it too much. And I definitely don't mind Booker T. NXT is traditionally speaking usually a smaller crowd. It's usually in the Performance Center. It does travel a little bit with the other shows, especially when they have pay-per-views coming up, which they do coming up, Battlegrounds. Check that out. We'll talk about that briefly. But thing is, it's like, it's intimate. It's loud. It's almost always loud. If the crowd reacts genuinely, I'll mention that later with some stuff that happened. And there's not really any empty seats because not a lot. And the posters are a little funny. You can't really avoid them with the camera shots. So I do think they're a little bit more careful with who they allow in. But I'm not sure. It's actually something they might have to do some more research on. But again, presentation. So the looks, the feel, it's kind of dark again. People didn't like it. The brightness, I didn't mind it. It was too bright, I will say, but it was trying something new. So it's whatever. Number 2. Speaking of trying something new. NXT is always trying new things. That's number 2. They're not your traditional. They know they're the Performance Center. They know, yes, they try to compete with AEW just a little bit. The Wednesday Night Wars were what they were. Some people called them that. You might not have. You had to be there. But even ignoring the competition element, they're always trying something new. They always want new fans. NXT is definitely a younger crowd than the main roster, and they know that. So, like, for example, this week while they're training, one of the reasons they're training, I should say, is because, my dog, you see the red, Sexy Red came through. And again, you might not like Sexy Red, blah, blah, blah. We're not here to discuss that. I don't care. Thing is, Sexy Red is popular. She's, one of the most popular things in hip hop right now. So what did they go do? They went and got, CA Sexy, or maybe Sexy Red reached out. Maybe she's like wrestling. Who knows? But she is a St. Louis native. I believe Trick Williams is also a St. Louis native, and that's part of the reason why. But that's neither here nor there. So she was involved in the show heavily this week, and that was just them showing you how willing they are. And she had a little promo that wasn't on the show with Shawn Michaels. She's Sexy Red, he's the sexy boy. That's actually funny to me. That was a great tie-in. And Shawn Michaels to go, and he obviously he's very involved with NXT. So I think again, always trying new stuff. One of the things they're gonna do during Battlegrounds, which is the upcoming pay-per-view for NXT, is actually NXT Underground, and I don't know, that can be a little throwback to Raw Underground from if you were there, which I do think was a good idea, if not poorly executed because of the way they did it. But I did actually like the idea, and one of the people who I do believe was on that Underground, who's going to be on This NXT Underground is actually Shayna Baszler, which again we'll get to a little later, kind of. So again, you got Underground, you got Sexy Red, you got the Shawn Michaels coming out every once in a while. You got all types. They're trying new things because that's what NXT is about. It's trying to get what do the people like, what a wrestler's gonna be able to get over, blase squaze. So again, number two, always trying new things like my dog Sexy Red. Number three, and this is actually, I mean, quite shocking. This is brand new. This is without this week episode, I don't think I'll be saying this part at all. Not that no, definitely not. So the Forbidden Door is completely open, and we talking about WWE still. That's shocking, ain't it? But yeah, the Forbidden Door, and we're not talking about the Royal Rumble. Now at the Royal Rumble, you saw this year. I don't know if you remember. If you didn't see it, go back and check it out. It was pretty dope this year. Jordynne Grace with the women came out. Jordynne Grace, if you don't know, is the TNA Knockouts champ, which is one of their women's division. The Knockouts, you get it? Okay, if you don't, DM, comment, all that goodish. So yeah, she came back again. Now she's on NXT, so now she's gonna show her face. Okay, Jordynne Grace is one of the best wrestlers outside of WWE, in my opinion. So for her to now be on WWE TV shows that they also know that, and they want people who aren't good. And it's funnily enough, the other person who showed this is gonna close the show this week again was All Ego Ethan Page. Not one of my favorite wrestlers, but again, further proof that the Forbidden Door is open. And even on commentary, again, forgive me, I forget the other buddy name on commentary with Booker T, because Booker T all I really, listen to. And because they switch the other guy out every once in a while. And again, maybe and you comment, correct me, whatever. We don't mind that too much as long as you're not being, too snooty about it. So yeah, he was actually gonna say when Ethan Page came out using his real name and everything, so that's how the Forbidden Door is open. He said, wasn't he an A? And then Booker T interrupted him because they're not gonna say AEW's wrestling thing on there. They're not gonna promote that stuff, but they did mention just to show to the action to the the non-casuals here wink wink nudge nudge So I did actually appreciate that callback. So this week Forbidden Doors open. Jordynne Grace, Ethan Page, maybe that's showing it's gonna have more. Who knows? But again, it's showing it's a reason to watch for me because now I don't know what's gonna come on. We did know Sexy Red was coming this week. It was announced, blah blah blah. Jordynne Grace was not announced. Ethan Page definitely was announced because he was over here attacking Trick Williams, said he wants a match, and there's other stuff. He attacked some other people who was cool with Trick Williams and Lash Legend, which is his shouty on the show. So again, maybe you could say that goes back to the trying new things, but Forbidden Door is kind of not new. It's one thing. So what we got? Oh well, Impact is right there. So so they came from both Impact, and I guess you could say Ethan Page is kind of Ring Honor. And last but not least, definitely not least, actually, most importantly, besides the Forbidden Door being open, wrestlers is who else wrestlers? NXT got wrestlers. Like again, if you don't know, go check it out. You got some throwback wrestlers. You got Shayna Baszler is not she's not new to the scene, but she's not exactly old. You got Shayna Baszler, like I mentioned earlier. She's on the show now. She went back down there. Also you got Natty down there. You can see she's doing a lot of locker room presence thing, which I'm cool with. She always seems to be sticking around for a reason. Why would else would they keep her around? Even though she's not on TV wrestling too much. So you got Trick Williams, the NXT champion. He's legit to me. I like his style and just aura. Like he looked like a champion. I do really mess with that. So you got Trick Williams, you got Rich Holland, for example. He was on the main roster for a little bit. I believe he got injured, so I guess they sent him back out. Obafemi, big dude. That's the NXT North American champion, which I find kind of funny because he's Obafemi, which is an African thing if you don't know. So clearly that's actually kind of funny because the North American champion, he's African, blah, 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 blah. But whatever. He's a big dude. I think him and Trick Williams should have a match again. If they had already, I gotta go back and look at it. But if they haven't, definitely see that down the line for one of those belts. It's gonna be dope. Who else? You got Roxanne, who actually got challenged by Jordynne Grace for her women's title. So she's a champion. Obviously, she legit, and I like Roxanne. Shayna Baszler, I mentioned already. Tony D'Angelo, kind of a caricature character, but he's currently one of their champs, and I like Tony D'Angelo. He has this Italian thing going. I hope he's actually Italian because I don't understand why they don't just use people. They could find an Italian wrestler, but that's neither here nor there. Who else you got? You got heels like Lexis King, who kind of looks like the Tiger King in my opinion. I'm pretty sure they did that on purpose. If not, maybe I'm the only one who noticed. Who knows? But he's a heel. He beat down somebody on this episode. You go back and watch it. I'm not gonna tell you everything that happened on this episode or everything that happens on NXT in general. I'm just telling you why you should go look at it. So go watch it. Why you should be watching. Who else? AOC slash the Good Brothers. They on there. Yeah, but you ain't know. Machine Gun Carl was on there. Yeah, he out there killing still. Gable Stevenson, who was a hot prospect a couple years ago. He's an actual wrestler. I believe he got a gold medal at the Olympics. I could be wrong, but he signed with WWE a while ago, and I guess they're still working on him, but just prospects down the line. Kind of one of the things people like about like things like baseball is it's not just who's in the show right now, it's who they have coming down the pipeline, which is another thing we can enjoy about wrestling as well. And I believe that's all the real wrestlers you really need to know. If anybody else you want to go see on there, go watch it yourself. And this has been why you should be watching. Like, share, subscribe. Wrestling Behind the Curtain podcast. No closing notes. Check out Be Yourself. We're gonna have some other stuff on there too. I do believe I'll be having next is why the Usos are underrated, unless something else popping and talk, that's the topic is around that's more important that could jump the line. But I am going back and watching some of the old Uso matches. I'm not just, the Usos are underrated, and I'm going to be able to go back and tell you which matches to go watch, blah, 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 like I do when we do why you should be watching. If you think something else is more important than that, again, comment, hit me up on Twitter, IG, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, they call it X now. Yeah. But it's your boy, Kenzo the Great. Grab the merch.